So I'm going to put this out there for all the people that want to vote for Bernie Sanders. Okay. I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's a good guy. I won't vote for him. In fact, I'm not voting for any of these goons. But Bernie Sanders stands out in my mind as the most dangerous candidate out there. Socialism is dangerous. And you can tell me that, oh, it's not the same kind of socialism. You know what? I'll explain exactly why right now. We are going to borrow against the Fed. He's not going to get rid of the Fed, people. He's going to borrow against the Fed. Now, if you understand how the Fed works, then you understand how terrifying this situation is. War works because when we borrow money from the Fed, it starts the machine of war. It starts the military-industrial complex. It creates business. Well, I wouldn't say that it creates, but it has the illusion that it creates businesses and jobs, at least while the war machine is running, right? How can a bunch of non-job, college-going people that are going to get free education that is borrowed against the Fed going to create new jobs? They're not. They can't create new innovation because they're still not free-minded individuals. They're not. So now we borrow against the Fed. We're now in debt. We now have more money printed in circulation, which decreases the buying power of the dollar. So now you've got a bunch of college grads that have their degrees that can't get a job because no one will hire them because they can't, because the dollar is worthless. Congratulations, you just created the next depression. You've destroyed business, you've destroyed the stock market, and you've created a situation of fear-mongering and leads to the next war. Congratulations. Bernie Sanders is working for the Jews. He is a Jew. There is no difference between any of them. He is trying to destroy the world. He has no other ulterior motives. He's not trying to help you. He doesn't care if you're educated. Why? Because they've bought and paid for the education system. These same people that he is in cahoots with, and he's not the same. No, he is the same. He is a condition of his environment. He's not a bad person. It doesn't make him a bad person. It just means that he is a condition of his environment. He only knows what he knows. He can't see outside the box. He is a square peg that fits into a square hole. And the square hole is what our education system creates. If you are indeed the free-thinking, free-minded individual that you claim to be as a Bernie Sanders supporter, you will listen to what I'm telling you. And you will be able to understand and see far enough forward that this money is not going to create anything. It can't. Because in order to create this money, we have to create more debt. And Bernie Sanders doesn't have an answer for that. I do. None of the candidates will have the solution that we need. Because they can only see a system that works on our current monetary system. We have to get rid of the Fed. And in order to get rid of the Fed, we have to show people that they can create their own businesses. They can create on their own. The government can't do this for people, and money can't do this for people. Only people can do this for people. And then the second step, obviously, is to take back our electoral system. Because we all know it's rigged. Plain and simple. We know it's rigged. So we have to take back our electoral system so that we can actually elect people that have the right ideas, that will not use money, that will not use deficit spending to destroy the economy. Plain and simple. That will not create chaos, that are not looking to create division and fear amongst the populace so that they can control whatever. It doesn't matter. So, to avoid control, and I would be afraid too. Like, I'd be super afraid right now. Somebody like me is saying this kind of stuff. Okay, well, what's his ulterior motive? What's he trying to do? I'm not trying to make you afraid of anything. In fact, I want to tell you to not be afraid. There are solutions. Bernie Sanders isn't one of them. Hillary Clinton is not one of them. Unfortunately, Mr. Donald Trump is not one of them. They all suffer from the same problem. They have delusions of grandeur that are fueled by this monetary system that creates division via covert means. And if you're watching this, Kelly Black Star, and I hope you are, this video is for you. And I'm trying to put in very simple words and simple terms, a way that everybody can understand that Bernie Sanders is not what you think he is. He's not who you think he is. He is not a solution. It is going to create a bigger problem. Think about this, right? Right now, we prize and value in education, right? What if we just give it away for free? Who's going to want it? Who's going to want it? Who is going to want an education? Who's going to want someone that has an education that they didn't have to work for, that they didn't have to strive for, they didn't have to struggle for? It was just given to them for free. Do you really think that free-minded, free-thinking individuals that are working in commerce and industry are going to want to hire people that do not value their education enough to actually work hard enough to pay for it? Think about that for a second. In the laws of the free market society, in supply and demand, there is a large supply of people. The demand is for educated people. Since the supply of educated people is low, right? This is simple mathematics. Then, of course, the demand for these individuals is very high. If you increase the supply, the demand goes down. It also means that because we've created this deficit, because we've borrowed against the future, we've cursed our children to pay off that they will never be able to pay off, because even if they go to college, it won't mean anything. It will be a valueless society. Do you really want that? This is not an assumption. This is what's going to happen. This is the future. I'm not predicting the future. I'm telling you what is going to happen. This is exactly what's going to happen. And I'm at the 7-minute mark. So I'll go ahead and stop and tell you I love you.